It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Talking about McDonald's, the owners are not happy about giving their employees $20 an hour. But speaking of 20, they offer the 20-piece McNuggets. I happen to be a huge fan of McDonald's. I know, probably go too often. I get that. But we've learned that Foosh, his go-to meal is 10 nuggets, quarter pounder, and I believe fries on the side.
Yeah, medium fries.
Yeah. I don't know how you go to McDonald's and not order fries. I don't know who that guy is.
That's all you smell when you drive up.
Right. Yeah. And they're known for it. They have extra long fries. They don't skimp on them. It's not those little tiny ones. And I always order them cooked to order. I know it's a pain in the ass, but there is nothing. A 10 in my life is a plate of hot, salty fries. There's nothing in the world like that. And when you get them hot from McDonald's or In-N-Out, and they're so hot you can barely eat them, that's a touchdown.
I like the food. I like their prices.
And if you get them cold, you're suicidal. You think about jumping off a parking lot, and landing on a guy who gave you those fries and take him out with you. You just want to, you become homicidal when you have cold fries. You really do. It's like the worst thing that could happen to you.
Yeah, something so good turns so bad so
instantly,
quickly.
So fast.
Yeah. And with every bite, you get angrier and angrier.
Yes. Yeah. The first time you eat that cold fry when you're expecting hot, everything is ruined.
Everything is your whole. You might as well just drive your car, into a truck, into a gas truck, and the last thing you smell is your cold fries burning. That actually sounds pretty good. All right, so Foosh, lay on the audience here. What's your biggest fast food place where you just were out of control? It wasn't rock bottom, but it was adjacent.
No, it wasn't. I had just finished my final paper for my final class in college. And
where is this, in LA?
This is UC Riverside.
Okay.
And had finished everything. I was super proud of myself, so I decided to go to In-N-Out. That was like the one that was closest to us.
Here we go.
So I got 2 double doubles, 2 orders of cheese fries.
Wait a minute. Were you with your class?
Just me.
All
right. Large Coke and a extra large chocolate shake.
I'm writing this down. Okay. 2 double doubles, everything on it?
Yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah, loaded.
2 cheese fries.
Yes.
A large Coke and a large shake? Large chocolate shake?
Yeah, I think it's large or extra. Whatever the biggest size was for the shakes, I got the biggest one. Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. Did they look for other passengers in the car?
No, they did look at me a little bit weird when I had that much food, so they just assumed I was probably taking it back to like a fraternity or something.
Yeah, you got to ask for like a couple forks.
Yeah.
Taking it back to basically a Navy unit. Taking it back to the ship. That's wild, man. 2 double doubles. I don't know how you eat 2 cheese fries without them cooling off and the cheese getting all hard.
Yeah, no. When I got back, I warmed them up real quick just to keep them warm.
Oh, I see.
In the microwave, and then I just.
Oh, so you have a process?
Yeah. Oh, for that.
There's a move.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's work.
Yeah.
It's not just eating.
Through the shake, the minute I got home, I put it in the freezer so it would stay cold. So once I was done, I took it out, and that was my dessert.
And so when you called your parents to tell them how you did on the final, did they ask about post-final meal?
They did not.
Okay. Would you have laid it on them?
Oh, I would have told them, yeah. Well, now everyone knows.
Crozier, do you remember rock bottom or a big meal that you couldn't tackle?
Man, that I couldn't tackle?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know that I could say that I couldn't tackle because it was like my OCD kicks in and I can't just let it sit. I'm going to shove that in me.
What did you have?
I used to do the McDonald's. I'd go big on McDonald's. I'd do a 20-piece, and I would probably do a 20-piece and then a filet-fish and either 2 just regular cheeseburgers or a double cheeseburger.
Wow.
Because that saves on the bread,
Yeah, right. No, I get that. Yeah. You don't watch your waste.
Yeah. And fries, of course. You got to have the fries.
Sure. I remember the biggest meal I ever had. I went to Del Taco, which doesn't exist anymore, partially because of me. The one on Hollywood Way in Verdugo, there used to be a Del Taco there. And I ordered 3 Del Taco tacos. You know, not the 89-cent ones, but the bigger ones. And I polished them. And I thought, you know what? I think I can eat 3 more. And so I remember shaking my stomach in the car, like settling the food to try to
Like Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Did you wear your stretchy pants that day?
I do remember shaking in the car, and a young lady walked by, and I'm like, oh man, she can't be into this. Right? It's a guy in his 50s shaking his, settling his belly so he can eat more tacos. And I got 3 more tacos, and I ate them. And I remember taking that last bite, and I was working here at KFI. It was around noon, and I had to, be to work at, 6 o'clock. We were out in the evenings. I ate too much. I had 6 tacos and fries and a Coke. And those big ass tacos. Huge. And I remember saying, oh, I can't come in today. And she goes, really? She goes, yeah, you got food poisoning? I said, yeah, I got food poisoning. I said, I eat fast food. I got food poisoning. And then I remember not coming in that night and saying, look, I got to straighten up. When you call and lie about why you can't go in because you ate too much, that's got to be close to rock bottom. Got to be. Angel, what's your biggest meal? Is there anything you want to share, or you want to keep your cards close to the vest?
I'll tell you what it was.
All right.
We're talking fast food. So,
yes.
2 filet of fish,
Oof.
a 4-piece nugget, and one of their sundaes, like a caramel sundae. And afterwards, I felt so full. Like
really? I wonder why.
It was painful. And I was so uncomfortable for like a couple of hours. And I'm just like, and so a couple hours later, I went out and got a milkshake.
Oh, God. Kiki, have you had a big meal? Do you want to share, or you want to keep it to yourself?
I'll keep it to myself.
I get it. I remember a Bellio story. Bellio showed up at one of the parties that we had at Morongo. And I saw her husband, John, inside checking into the hotel. I'm like, hey, John, how you doing? Oh, Tim, nice to see you. Good. How you doing? Oh, I'm down a couple of bucks. Hey, where's Bellio? And she goes, oh, she's out in the car. And I was going to go out and have a cigarette anyway. This is years ago. And I walk out to the car, and she's sitting in the car. I'm like, hey, Bellio. She goes, oh, hi, Tim. I said, hey, I'll help you with the luggage. She goes, no, we'll be okay. And I said, yeah, come on, we're at the bar, we're gonna have a drink. No, you guys go ahead. I said, you okay? She goes, yeah, I'm okay. All right. And then I left, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot my valet parking ticket. So I went out and talked to the valet parker, and she's getting out of the car now. She just didn't want me to see her. She had cheese all over her. She stopped by Del Taco and got a nachos. And I think John had stopped the car fast or whatever. But she had cheese on her shirt, on her pants, and in her hair. In her hair. And I'm like, what's going on? She literally walked into Morongo with cheese on her shirt, her pants, and her hair. She had cheese in her hair. And I
enjoying herself.
And I asked her later, because I saw her, but I didn't want her to know that I saw her. And I said, are you okay? She was, yeah.
It's like I am now.
I said, that's not rock bottom. She was, oh, we're not even close. We're not even close. Cheese, shirt, pants, and in her hair.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
I went to the Smokehouse last night.
Oh.
After working in the garage all day, I had a real Jones for that garlic bread. And I wanted to get the garlic toast at the Smokehouse. So I called them up.
Oh, the old the restaurant over here
Yeah.
by the studios?
Yeah, I called the restaurant. And it's an older restaurant when the recording on their voicemail, it says, you can reach us online. And I'm like, oh, here we go. www.smokehouse1946.com. And then they spell it.
When it picks up, is it like one of the old? There's a long pause before you hear anybody talk. You hear this hum, this. And you go, thank you for calling the Smokehouse.
I can play it for you here.
You can reach us online.
Let's see here. Call the Smokehouse in Burbank. Let's see if it comes up. Dialing. Okay, here it is. Smokehouse. Here we go. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Thank you for calling Smokehouse Restaurant. Please listen closely as our options have recently been updated. If you wish to place an order for delivery, please visit our website at www.smokehouse1946.com. For reservations or takeout, press 1. For private dining, press 2. For garlic bread or online shipping orders, press 3. For billing matters or to obtain a copy of your receipt,
I think I pressed 1.
For the chef's.
All right, here we go.
Thank you for calling Smokehouse Restaurant. A team member will be with you momentarily to take your reservation. Please note, we are not able to change reservations by voicemail.
All right.
You must speak to a team member directly. For the fastest service,
Here we go.
click the reservation link on our website at www.smokehouse1946.com. That's www.smokehouse1946.com.
That's great. Let's spell it out.
How do you smell Smokehouse?
Spell it out, Smokehouse. 1946. They've been around a long time, but the garlic bread is unbelievable. So I ordered the garlic bread, but you got to go in there and do it. And I called it 8:22. I say, hey, how long is the kitchen open? She said till 8:30. I jumped in the car. I had 8 minutes to get there and place the order. So I get in the car, and I race to I didn't break the speed limit, but I was close. And I get to the Smokehouse, and I'm ordering it. And she said, it'll just be a few minutes. I said, oh, please. I said, you can take your time. I'm in no rush. I just need that Smokehouse garlic toast. I need it in me. And so while I'm sitting there waiting on one of these red, couches or booths out there, I hear the guy at the bar, the bartender, and he's a louder guy. And I'm like, I remember that voice. I know that voice. The guy serving drinks in the bar. I know him. And so I asked the waitress there, or the maitre d' or the hostess. I said, hey, is that bartender's name Gary by chance? And she said, yeah, that's Gary. I'm like, God almighty. I remember Gary from 30 years ago when he used to be the bartender at a place called the Money Tree. He was the bartender at the Money Tree. And so I said, I walked up to him. He was just cleaning some stuff up there and only had about 5 or 6 customers at the bar. And I said, hey, are you Gary? And he looks at me and goes, Conway. I'm like, hey, Bobo, I haven't seen you in forever. How long you been at the Smokehouse? And he says, I've been here 17 years.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, I'm sorry that I've not been in here in the 17 years that you've been here. And he told me his hours and his days. He's in there Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I said, oh, I'll stop by and see you and catch up. I love this guy. One of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. Guy named Gary, who's the bartender at the Smokehouse. So he says to I'm sitting there waiting for the bread. And he says to 2 young ladies sitting at the bar, he said, this guy, and he points to me. He said, this guy had the funniest line ever when he was bartending. And he remembered this line from 25 years ago. 25 years ago, he said, there was an old guy sitting at the bar at the Money Tree. And he had his feet up. He was drinking a beer. And he was watching Gilligan's Island on TV.
Hey, now.
And you said to the guy, what's broken at home? The TV or the refrigerator? Right, because otherwise, why would you pay $8 for a beer if you're going to watch TV? You do that at home.
Gilligan's
Yeah, right. He's watching Gilligan's Island, drinking a beer at a bar. Not socializing with anybody. He's just drinking a beer, watching Gilligan's Island on TV, and he's drinking an $8 beer. And said, hey, what's busted at the at home? The refrigerator or the TV? All right. And Gary remembered that. And the girls laughed, and he laughed, and I laughed. And I said, that's great, Gary. I'll come by and visit you sometime. And he said, yeah, please do that. Please do that. I miss you. I miss you too. And as I'm walking away from the bar, I didn't want to tell him or the girls laughing. That wasn't my line. I never said that.
You knew in the moment that he was relaying this story. I never said that.
If it was funny, I don't mind him giving me credit, but I never said that. I don't remember ever saying that. As a matter of fact, I think a buddy of mine said it, and I wasn't going to correct him.
It totally sounds like something you would say.
Right, exactly. So I went with it. I went with it. I said, okay, yeah, I said that. But I know I never did. But in front of him and the two gals, I took credit. Didn't want to dissuade him or her or the girls from believing that I was that funny. So I said, no. Yeah, I remember saying that. That was great. Good old times. Gary, I'll come back and see you again sometime, buddy. I love that guy. Gary, the bartender at the Smokehouse, one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. That guy is the bomb.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
This happened to me today on the way to work. There was a guy walking down. We live on an alley. I know. Pretty ritzy, huh? A guy walking down the alley, and he goes to put his dog's feces in my trash can. And at the same time, I open the garage door. And he closes the lid, and he grabs the dog doo-doo, and he walks away. And I said, hey. He goes, oh, no. He goes, I'm not going to put it in there. I said, no. Feel free to put it in there. You can put anything you want in there. I don't give a rat's ass. You can literally put a baby grand piano in there. I don't care. I'm not one of those guys that cares. You want to put your dog doo-doo in there instead of carrying it around? Because you look like an idiot carrying a bag of dog feces. That little green tiny bag that's all tied up and you're walking around. How do you think your dog feels when you're walking around with your dog's S in your hand? Doesn't he feel like he sort of owns you? I would think so.
When I had the dog and I was the one doing the walks with him.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer cats personally. Yeah, I'll have to clean it out, then clean the box out, but it's like a one and done.
Yeah.
Not every single time they go to the bathroom, I have to be there.
But our dogs, when first of all, you can throw anything you want in our can, and I don't know, it bothers my wife though. Maybe it's a gender thing. I don't know. But it bothers my wife if somebody throws their dog S in our can. Yeah, but it also it doesn't bother me either when somebody goes through my recyclables to take out cans. I don't care. Look, it's on the street. It's up for grabs.
As long as they keep the area clean.
As a matter of fact, this happened in Tarzana. We lived in Tarzana. We used to throw all our bottles and cans into the blue recycle bin like everybody does, I guess.
Yeah.
And this guy was pulling out bottle after bottle, and he got so tired of it, he just took the whole blue can, threw it on the truck, and left.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hysterical. Guy's leaving. He's like, I don't want to go through all this crap. I'm just going to take the can and do it later. I thought it was great, man. The balls on that guy. Right? Not only to take the recyclables, but take the whole can and split. I thought that was great. But it is, maybe, I don't know, Belly, are you disturbed by that if somebody throws...
I don't like it.
You don't like it, right?
I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, because Shannon's right.
Let's not say she's right. Let's just say you agree with her.
Okay, I agree with Shannon.
Okay, all right.
Because
that makes me feel bad. If you say Shannon's right and I don't care, I feel like less of a human being.
Well, that's on you.
All right.
No, if they throw it into your emptied trash and you bring it back and then you got to wait a week with that in there, that creates issues.
Right, but it doesn't smell. I mean, it's tied off. If it's tied off nicely, I think it's airtight. I don't think there's any issue there.
Yeah.
But at least they're not leaving it on the street.
No, I understand that, but why can't they take it back to their trash can?
Because if you walk around with that green bag in your hand, nothing says, goofball.
If you have a dog, you're used to doing that.
Nah,
occasionally we're walking the dogs, and I have the bag, and I start swinging.
Oh yeah, right.
And John's always like, "Could you not do that?" And I forget that I'm holding on to a bag of poo.
Right, and occasionally it flies open, and then it's a shower. Oh God Almighty! Here we go. But Steph, should it bother you if somebody throws feces in your can?
I personally don't care, but when I do walk the dog, I feel bad putting it in someone else's trash can.
You do?
So I've walked with it the whole way, but if someone wasn't, I don't care to do it in mine.
Yeah, I think we got to get together and just assume that everybody's trash can is up for grabs.
It's just so bizarre to me. It's like, so I always think about that. Like if Jen and I are doing a little walks and I got like some trash or something like that, and there's someone's cans like down little alleyways, it's like right there, put it in there.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking to myself, somebody's going to come out and go, hey, don't throw your stuff on me. I'm just going to throw it on the ground beside it. And I go, what do you want, man?
Just put it in your own trash can.
I'm out and about. I'm 2 miles from home. I'm not carrying it with me. It's either beside your can or in your can.
That's right. Yeah.
Your choice, beside your can or in your can. You choose, mister or lady.
Well, what would you rather have? You know, dog's feces on the side of your can or in your can?
Exactly.
You know?
Neither.
No. Well, you don't have that choice.
Yeah, you don't have that choice at all. Man, it's weird. People get very territorial over their trash
so
cans.
Weird.
It's
a trash can.
Yeah, it is an odd thing. It's a weird deal.
I'm going to go put some trash in Crozier's trash can
I would
tonight.
love that.
On
Not
my way
outside
home.
of it, please. I don't want to see trash on the outside of the can. I'm like, why would somebody put the trash on the outside of the can when the can's right there?
That's Brian Regan. Remember when Brian Regan came to visit us, Tim, and he was walking by and somebody had rolled up a piece of paper and it was like a foot from the trash can. And he couldn't resist. He bends down and he goes, "You were so close. You were so close."
It's like Adam Carolla. You ever see those? They don't exist anymore. But in the old days, Belly, did your dad ever smoke?
Yeah, long time ago.
Did he have the beanbag ashtray on the dash?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's a beanbag ashtray, and you put it on the dashboard, and it fills with cigarette butts, and there's a little smoke stain on the windshield, the inside of the windshield, where those smokes were brewing for decades. And then Carolla was talking about, you get to like a Long's drug, which I don't think exists anymore, and the guy throws them all out onto the street.
The parking lot there where their door was.
Right, yeah. He kept them for like 2 months, and now they're just bang right on the street or in the parking lot. Right, it's unbelievable.
I love the ash marks, like right where the glass in the window meets the upper part of your door, from people that didn't want to roll down their window all the way to flick their ashes.
Yep.
You see the accumulation of the burns on the upper part of the door,
and you can also tell when a guy or a gal is really interested in how their hair looks, and they smoke, because they're going to have burn marks on the top of their car, on the roof of their car.
Oh, on the inside?
Yeah. They put their cigarette in their hand through their hair, and then, oh, Christ, there's another scorcher. But you don't see the beanbag ashtray anymore.
No.
It's gone. Did your dad have one? Did your dad smoke?
Not cigarettes, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, he did.
My mom and dad both smoked cigarettes, and I remember my dad and mom, they would smoke cigarettes while like taking 6 kids up to the mountains, and all the windows were closed.
Oh.
It doesn't really go on much anymore.
Everything that my dad did, I mean, dying from a drug overdose, and he just had so much disdain for people that smoked cigarettes. Like his ex, the woman that he married when I was 13, she smoked, and he just, those cancer deaths. I'm like, dude. Weirdest thing. And he had the argument. He was like, those are all chemicals. This is all, nature.
Was he doing hard drugs or just weed?
He died from crack.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
For the most part, he once told me that he did everything but heroin because he didn't like needles.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man. That guy went for it. You got to give him that, though.
He did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He was in a band in the 70s in Miami. What do you want?
I get it. Man, that was the time to be in Miami.
Miami band 70s.
Yeah, woo. What a life.
Yep.
What a life. How old was he when he passed away?
He was 40.
Oh, he's young.
No, 58.
58.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, because I'm 3 years from his age.
Okay, so 58's a nice run for a guy, doing crack and, all kinds of...
He was on and off.
Yeah.
He was on and off. He would take years off, and then he would go through a good months or a year or something like that doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I said it's a touchdown.
Yeah, well, he lived.
58. And then, in a band in Miami in the 70s.
Woo.
A lot of people like that. All right.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Jason Priestley, he was in. There was a show. What was the series that he was in? My Name is Earl. Remember that? My Name is Earl.
Was he in that show?
Yeah. He played I was in like 2 or 3 episodes of. But man, I really loved him in 90210. It was one of my. was one of the shows that I watched. I wasn't a big Melrose Place.
Were you?
You okay? You knitting? What are you doing?
I'm crocheting, but you watched Beverly.
So you can crochet, but and also half-ass listen to my references to popular shows in the 90s or so.
That you would watch those shows.
What show?
That you would watch Beverly Hills 90210 or Melrose Place.
Oh, I wasn't. No, I'm saying I was not a Melrose Place guy. I was a 90210, but I love that show. 909.
You are serious? You watched that?
I watched it all the time. I used to watch with a buddy, a guy named Jeff Wernick.
No way.
Yeah, we used to go to his house and watch 90210. I never told anybody because I was sort of embarrassed.
Who were the actors in it?
Well, all right, Jason Priestley was in it.
Okay, that was.
Let's see how many I could name out of. Shannon Doherty was in it, right? Wasn't she in it?
Those were some of the stars, but that's pretty obvious.
That guy that was fighting everybody on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh,
Ian Ziering. He was in that sucker. Luke Perry, very popular.
Yes.
Nice.
Tori Spelling, I know her.
Going right down the line. Nice.
Okay. And that might be it, huh? No, Jamie Walters was in that. And Hilary Swank.
Jamie Walters had that song.
Yes, that's right. But Hilary Swank, that started her career.
Hilary Swank.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. She was a girlfriend later on in the run.
That's right. She was great. Lindsay Price was in it as well. And I don't know. I'm probably missing somebody. Carol Potter was in a few episodes, but I didn't know all the players. But I do remember going and watching that program. I'm probably missing somebody big, though. Brian Austin Green was in that? Was he in that?
Yes, he was one of the main.
Yeah, okay. He was in that. And then that Doug, what's his last name? Douglas Emerson, wasn't he in it? I think he was in that. But
I don't even know some of these.
I'll tell you a quick story. There was, I can't remember what actor it was that played the teacher. Remember one of the older actors in 90210 that played like the teacher or the principal? Do you remember that? Do you guys remember that at all? Do you guys totally blank on this?
Blank on that one.
All right. Well, let's just say, I think it was Joe Tata was the actor. And so
he owned the Peach Pit.
Yes. Okay. So later on in the episodes, as the series went on, he wasn't in season 8, 9, and 10. So my buddy, Jeff Wernick, was the biggest fan in the world. And he was at Thrifty Drugstore, which is not there anymore, on Laurel Canyon and Ventura. And he sees this guy, Joe Tata, who's in this 90210. And he's going up and down the aisle. It's only him and Jeff Wernick in the whole store. There's nobody else shopping there. And he sees Joe and he passes him by and he now knows he's from 90210. And he wants to say something, but my buddy's like 50 and he doesn't want to embarrass himself that he watches 90210 like I did. So he passes him again in the aisle. And then the third time he passes him and their carts like run into each other. Like their carts are nose to nose. And he says... and he's staring right at Joe. And he goes, "Hey, I miss you."
Oh!
In 90210. Joe turned his cart around, never acknowledged him, and walked away. Now, I don't know if that's the exact actor, but I'm just saying it was one of those actors. And walked away.
Hey,
and
you.
He goes, "We miss you."
We miss you.
And he walked away. He said he was so embarrassed. He left his cart there with all his stuff in it, and he just went home. Just went home. He didn't tell me that story for 3 years after we stopped watching that show. 3 years. He goes, "Buddy," he goes, "I got to tell you a story about 90210." And he told me that story. And he did it, and he did a perfect impression. He stood there like he was holding it, like he was pushing a shopping cart, and he stopped and he looks up, he goes, "We miss you." We miss you.
That's great.
It's so classic. Because that's not Wernick. Wernick was not that guy. He was a football guy. He's a betting guy. He's a guy's guy. He's not a guy who's watching 90210 and runs into an actor and saying, "We miss you."
Well, that's what I thought of you. That's why I laughed when you said you watched it. You don't seem like...
I never told anybody I watched it.
But why?
because I was embarrassed. I used to go over to a friend's house to watch it. That's embarrassing.
No, it's not.
Totally humiliating. It's beyond embarrassment. It borders on humiliation. I mean, I would park the car down the street and walk to his car in case, like, my buddies ever drove by and go, "Hey, you at Warnick?" Like, nope. We're just and we turned the lights off in the house. We'd watch it downstairs in his room downstairs, which he had a nice room house up in Laurel Canyon, and he had a room downstairs where you couldn't see anything. He closed the door, and we'd sit downstairs in like his dungeon/rec room where this like pool was, and we'd sit there
cave.
And we'd watch that show and hope that nobody would knock on the door and see these two idiots watching 90210.
How did the two of you come to know that you both loved this show?
I said to him at lunch, because we were both working at Deke Entertainment, and I said to him one day at lunch, I said, "Oh, the girl I was going out with, she's a big 90210 fan," and he said, "Oh, so am I." And I thought he was joking. I said, "Really?" I said, "So am I." He goes, "No, you're not." I said, yeah. And we went through like 3 or 4 episodes. He goes, "Buddy," he goes, "I got no one to watch it with. You got to come over and watch it." And we did for years. Years.
You know, in your defense, there's probably a pretty good reason why it kind of appealed to you, for the same reason that for the last name of Tori Spelling.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's that same genre, so it had that vibe of those spelling shows from the 70s, Fantasy Island and Love Boat and all those, because it's made by the same guy.
Yeah, but I don't know if you know this, but Tori Spelling tried out for that show, and her dad was the executive producer, but she wore nose and glasses and a mustache when she tried out, so he didn't know it was her.
Oh, I didn't know she wore like a whole getup. I thought she just like changed her name or something like that. But she
nose and glasses.
Well, hey, good for her, man.
Okay, clown.
Well, either that, or he just wouldn't let her, or she didn't want him to know. You know.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you this, and I don't often do this. I'm not talking about it again. That's in my past. That's a wrap. And I'm not going to be answering emails or texts or anything. I'm not talking about 90210 again.
Did you watch it all the way to the end?
I just told you. I'm not talking about it.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.